What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It's Monday, everyone. Got an awesome show for y'all today. You know, the regular athletic alert. Back again with the fantasy football rankings. And then, Matt, you're wearing your Mets jersey today. So, obviously, got to talk about the Mets, man. How we doing?
I'm very excited, Kyle. For the first time in a long time, we get to talk about how good the New York Mets are playing. And after last month, dude, hey, it's the 1st of July, and I'm very happy with what they did in June. So I'm ready. Let's do it.
God, can't stand the Mets. But let's get straight into the athletic alert. Everyone, over the weekend, Sunday, NBA free agency is or has opened. So a lot of crazy news have came out. James Harden signed a new deal with LA, bunch of stuff. But today we're not going to focus on the entire NBA free agency. We're going to still keep it down south up north. So today I'm going to be talking about the possibility of Klay Thompson going to the Orlando Magic. Some rumors came out over the weekend that Klay Thompson is determined to leave the Bay Area. Shams came out with that, and they're parting ways, dude. For Klay Thompson, you couldn't leave on a worse note. He shot 0 for 10 in elimination game. That meme has been going on for
Yeah,
forever.
if you haven't seen the comments on any of your social media platforms.
Yeah, but one of those teams that is on Klay Thompson is the Orlando Magic, dude. Since we have been alive, the Orlando Magic has kind of been a shitty team. I mean, they didn't make it to the finals, and what was that?
Oh
Oh,
seven?
oh 07?
No, it was,
It wasn't 08.
I don't.
Oh 09. It was
Yeah.
somewhere around the early or late 2000s. Um, but the Magic, dude, shocked a lot of people this year. You drafted your young core. You said it a long time ago. We're
Yep.
not seeing super teams anymore. Teams are drafting players. That's what the Magic have done. You get
For
Bankero, number one
You
pick,
get
Jalen
Franz,
Suggs,
both the Wagner
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 brothers. You
brothers.
get Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, your boy,
Yes,
UNC.
sir.
You get a lot of players to build that young core, and they made the playoffs. And what they force a game 7 against the Cavs,
Yes, they did.
could not get it done. So they got 35 million cap space for free agency, and you got to get a veteran, and there's no better veteran than Klay Thompson, dude. He's played that Robin role for pretty much his entire career. Has never been really a leader of the team. I mean, he has, but he's been shadowing the best shooter of all time, Steph Curry. So the Magic, dude, they were tied for 23rd in 3-point percentage last year, and they finished tied for the fewest threes made.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
and looking at the Magic, dude, they need a vet to like kind of not teach them because they're all those guys are NBA players. He just needs guidance, I guess.
Right.
And I think Klay is that perfect example, dude. Joe Ingles was like the vet on that team, and love Joe Ingles, but he's not no Klay
Nah.
Thompson. So Klay Thompson would be perfect for the Orlando Magic. He could learn all those things he learned with Steve Kerr. I mean, he played with KD, Steph Curry,
He's played with a
Draymond.
lot of the best shooters ever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Steph and Steve. So he could learn a lot, or he did learn a lot. He could teach those guys in Orlando a lot. So if this happens, I love this pickup, dude. We lived in Orlando for some time. We actually went to a game right before we left, and it was a fun game, dude. They're a fun team to
Fun
watch.
team. Yeah, I was gonna say they're a fun team to watch. But dude, when's the last time you heard Orlando in free agency in the same sentence? I mean, it's not a market that a lot of teams or a lot of players want to go play for. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's what they get the 4 seed, 5 seed. I
Uh,
think they got the five. If I'm not mistaken, they got the 5 seed. But
I
fun
want to
team. I mean,
say
it's a young core. They've actually got something going for 'em. I mean, one more game and they're guys who have zero playoff experience are going to the second round of the playoffs. Eastern Conference is also not that strong. And I think the biggest thing is Klay Thompson will sign a vet minimum. I mean, Golden State was not paying him a lot of money these last couple years. You go to Orlando, you get him, maybe not a vet minimum, but you said what, they have $35 million in cap?
Yeah.
Maybe sign him for 20, 2 year, 20 mil, right? 10 mil a year. And then you have an extra 15 to go out and get another piece to add to that core. I would love that for Orlando. I mean, that's and I mean it's good that you brought up the stats. I didn't know how poorly they shot the 3-ball. And that guy, you plug him right in. I mean, the day he signs, if he does, their 3-point percentage instantly goes up.
Yeah, for sure. If this happens, would love to pick up. Again, we went to a game. It was super fun to watch. They're a young team. You have the superstars. Would love to see it. So hopefully, Klay, you could make your way to Disney World.
To the
you
East
could go
Coast.
there. You could go there all week. So hopefully that happens. Bran.
Yep. All right, Kyle. I'm going for a little bit of a bigger, more known team that I don't know. Seems like the Philadelphia 76ers are always in free agency talks. Like every single year, somebody's going there, whether it's
every superstar.
Right.
76ers are always in
Jimmy
there.
Butler or James Harden, re-signing Embiid, whatever the case may be. But this is going to be probably their most important offseason in, I want to say, 4 or 5 years. The big story, which I'll start with, is Paul George. Paul George leaving the Clippers definitely has a laundry list of teams he could go to. They have a lot in cap that they can sign him to a max deal. And Paul George, he's getting older in his career. He's definitely on the back end of his prime. But pairing him with Embiid, I mean, a lot of over time, we've seen a lot of guards, right? Tyrese Maxey, I'll get to him in a second. Jimmy Butler, you've paired with him. A lot of guards. Now they're going with a bigger guy, a bigger force. Paul George, a known guy. I'm not the biggest Paul George fan, by the way. But I think you plug him in, him and Embiid work. And they still have Nick Nurse, I believe, who I think is a good coach. So Sixers, man, it's always, can they get over the hump? Which is why like this move doesn't make a ton of sense, because Paul George has not lived up to much in his career, especially after the injury in Indiana. But those are the rumors. What I want to talk about is what they're going to do after they, quote-unquote, sign Paul George, if they do. You have to sign Tyrese Maxey. He is awaiting a 5-year, $205 million contract. That is on the table. But they have to go out for a bigger fish before they can sign him. That's just the way they have to do things. It's an order thing. But this guy's durable, unlike his co-stars, Joel Embiid. But played 70 games this season, so he's playing a lot of games. He's out there. He's a hustler, one most improved player, averaged 26 points, almost 4 rebounds, 6 assists, made it to his first All-Star game. Like, this guy is young. He's 23 years old, and if the Sixers can lock him up, guarantees him his money, which he's been patiently waiting for, and you have him for 5 years. He is just scratching the surface of what his prime will look like. I think he's going to be one of the best guards in the league next year. But you have to do it in that order. You have to go out for a bigger fish. Hey, maybe they get Klay Thompson, right? I mean, there is a lot of names on this free agency list that they can go after. But Paul George, I believe he's meeting with the 76ers first. So with that being said, if they can draw him in, they've gotten a lot of stars in free agency before, but you have to sign Paul George. But more importantly, it's what you do after, which is to go out and re-sign Tyrese Maxey to that mega super contract that he does deserve.
I saw it was CJ McCollum and he was on a talk show and they were talking about Paul George and they're like, dude, Paul doesn't want to go to a team for the city, the lifestyle, the best place for his kids or whatnot. He wants to go there and win. And if he wants to win, I wouldn't know if 76ers is that spot to go, but if you have Embiid, Maxey, and George,
Yeah.
that's third. That's third.
Look, Kyle, let's not forget. If Joel Embiid does not get hurt after the All-Star break, or before, around that time, this Sixer team would have given Boston a run for their money. They would have been the number 2 seed in the East. I firmly believe that. And they would have given Boston a taste of their own medicine. I don't know if they would have won in a 7-game series, but I know they would have given Boston a lot tougher time than the Celtics had running through the Eastern Conference. They would have not cakewalked in the fashion that they did if Embiid was healthy for all that time. I mean, they went from like one of the top seeds and they fell pretty far.
Yeah.
So, and then
with that 76ers versus Celtics, the Celtics are just such a tough team because you have Jason Tatum, you have Jaylen Brown, who's really good, and then you have Derek White, you have Al Horford. Like, it's so hard. Like, I think Tyrese could probably play solid defense on Jason Tatum, but if he locks him, Jaylen Brown's going to be open.
Right.
Derek White's going to come into the game, and he's going to go off.
And Paul George is a decent defender. He's a bigger body you can put on Jaylen Brown or Tatum. He can kind of switch.
That's true.
And then if Tyrese, I mean, he might be a little bit too small for either of those guys, but, you know, I think they would match the Celtics a little bit better. And Boston's obviously the team to beat in the East.
Oh, for sure. But I like that, though. Paul George to the Sixers. That would spice things up in the East for sure.
Which is what they desperately need. But now, time for some fun. Kyle, let's get into our fantasy rankings. All right. Last week I let you kick off this new segment, but I'm going to go first if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
This week, dude, going to be an interesting list for me, Kyle. I told you before, we're doing quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks. We're going to throw in an honorable mention to begin, but these guys in fantasy, not best, because if you get that mixed up, you will laugh at my list. But top 5 fantasy quarterbacks going into 2024. Let's do it. Honorable mention, Kyle. The man from down south still seeking a new contract. Tua Tagovailoa from the Miami Dolphins. Yes. He's got Tyreek and he's got Waddle. He's got the best receiving core in football. Definitely the fastest. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting this guy still.
He hasn't beat a team over 500.
And they can't win in the cold either. And that's what's preventing me. So I'm like, all right, if they're traveling in November and December, I think his fantasy numbers will drop. But whatever. Let's get into the top 5. Number 5, hold your breath. I got the Super Bowl MVP himself, Patrick Mahomes.
At
number 5. Last season, his fantasy performance wasn't the best. He was averaging around 20 to 25 points, which, don't get me wrong, that's great numbers for a quarterback. But it was a lack of receivers. All season, what was everybody saying about the Chiefs? Oh, these wide receivers can't catch. Oh, Mahomes is going to freak out because these guys can't catch the ball. He's got some good rookies. He's still got the best tight end in football in Travis Kelce. However, Mahomes, I don't trust the receiving core, and that's why he lands at number 5 on my list. Moving on to number 4. He got hurt pretty early on last season. Actually, I traded for this guy, and I traded for him on like a Thursday or Friday towards the end of the week, and he actually got hurt in the game on Sunday. But this is how much I have faith in this guy. AR-15. Anthony Richardson from the Indianapolis Colts. Amazing runner, mobile quarterback. He's got a cannon for an arm. That's hence the term AR. Can launch the ball downfield, and I don't know. I like the Colts. Michael Pittman just got the bag. I think he's gonna have a great year. They've got some other weapons around him, and if all goes south, he's gonna run with the rock in his hands. I think they're gonna get very creative in Indianapolis with plays that he can run this season. Number 3, another quarterback that was hurt for most of last season. The man himself, he's been traveling around the world, Joe Burrow. He's lost Tyler Boyd, which I think is going to hurt, but this guy's coming for vengeance, Kyle. This guy watched Patrick Mahomes win 2 Super Bowls in a row. And you know, if there's one quarterback in the NFL that has given Mahomes problem over the last 3 years, it has been Joe Burrow. And they got T. Higgins back. They have Jamar Chase, who's due for a bounce-back year. They lost Mixon, so they're probably going to be throwing the ball a lot more often in Cincinnati. And Joe Burrow, let's not forget how good he is. And fantasy-wise, I think he's going to tear it up. Number 2, sticking in the AFC North. They've got a lot of talent. I'm going with Lamar Jackson. One of the best mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, and you can probably tell I have a lot of mobile quarterbacks on this list, but it's fantasy, dude. They're going to get yards. They're going to get more yards. They're going to get more points, a lot of rushing touchdowns. I think with the addition of Derrick Henry, I mean, Kyle, John Harbaugh is cooking up something big in Baltimore. When they're inside the 10-yard line, I mean, can you imagine having to deal with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson throwing the ball, and Lamar Jackson running the ball inside the 10-yard line? I mean, it's going to be lethal. And John Harbaugh loves him some Lamar Jackson, and just adding Derrick Henry makes him a force to be reckoned with. And I don't know. I think Lamar is going to have a crazy good fantasy year. And rounding out my list at number 1. This is a gamble. This is probably a little bit too high right now, but I'm going CJ Stroud. Houston Texans. Dude, they just got Stephon Diggs, who I think is pissed off, and his time in Buffalo was he had good years, but I feel like he feels like it was a waste. Did we not see what CJ Stroud did in January? I mean, he torched one of the best defenses in football in the Cleveland Browns in the wild card round.
He did.
I mean, the guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He still remembers that Bryce Young was taken 1 pick before him. He's just a good guy. They've got a great... I mean, that receiving core, it might be the best in the NFL in terms of all 3 pieces. I mean, Noah Brown is a great piece. You add Stephon Diggs. They have Joe Mixon, too. They can get creative in the short game, the check down, screens, whatever the case may be. Tank Dell is coming back from injury. He's going to have a great season, I believe. And CJ Stroud is at the helm. I mean, he's really freaking good at football. He can launch the ball. He's accurate. And I think they have one of the best offenses heading into next season. That's my top 5. CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Patrick Mahomes, honorable mention Tua Tagovailoa.
Wild list. Wild. You got a lot of faith in CJ. I don't hate it, though. I don't hate it. I like the Lamar because Georgia's old offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, miss you, brother. Dude, he did a lot of crazy shit with Stetson Bennett at Georgia. And now he has Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Dude, yeah, he's going to cook something up for the Ravens offense. So, my audible mention. You had him pretty high up on your list. I'm going Joe Burrow. Joe Shiesty.
Okay. A little bit more conservative.
I mean, Joe Mixon's gone. Tyler Boyd's gone. You got Jamar. You got T. Higgins. You drafted some more O-line, I think, to help Joey. But That's the problem. Is he's coming off an ACL injury, and Joe, when he's at his peak, dude, he is on fire. But he's very, I don't want to say wishy washy because that's not the word, but he's very, I guess, inconsistent. There's last year, dude, maybe he wasn't himself, but he was just throwing a lot of fucking terrible balls.
Yeah, he was. He had a really hard, rough start to the season.
Yeah, he wasn't performing very well, even though he's my fantasy quarterback. I believe in him. It's just, I mean, it is Joe Burrow, dude. He's probably hitting training camp super hard. He's probably getting better, challenging his defense every day to get them better. So he's probably gonna have a great year. But I got him as my honorable mention. Number 5, I got C.J. Stroud. Number 5. He dude had a crazy rookie year, and he gets another weapon in Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, and Joe Mixon. Yeah, that's going to be crazy, but it's his second year, dude. He's still got a lot to learn. I feel like he's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's going to go crazy, probably win the AFC South, even though it's going to be very competitive this year. He's going to have a crazy year, but he's a rookie, dude. He's going to make mistakes. So, and those mistakes are really going to hurt him. Number 4, you didn't have him on your list. He's a division rival. I'm going Jalen Hurts, baby. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. That's really all I gotta say, dude. Is he's gonna hit those screens. He's gonna hit Saquon in the flat. He's got, dude. He could take off himself. He's a fast quarterback. I think you get more points in fantasy for the long ball. You got A.J. Brown. You got Devontae. So he's definitely gonna air it out this season and run the ball or hit Saquon in the flats too. So I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a very good fantasy quarterback. Number 3, I'm going Lamar. Dude, he has a cannon and he could just run the football, dude. We said it one time, bro. Like him at Louisville, one of my favorite college tapes of all time. His shoulder and his legs are going one way, but he just head fakes you and he goes for an extra 15, 20 yards just because he juked you out of your shoes. So Todd Monken, he's going to cook up a crazy scheme for the Ravens this season with him and Derrick Henry. And dude, I'm seeing a lot of, or what I want to see a lot of, is they just pound the rock with Derrick Henry and then they just hit a play action and they just send Zay Flowers to the crib.
He's coming off of an MVP season too.
He is, and they just hit that play action, dude, and you just get those more fantasy points, him airing it out.
Yep.
Number 2, I'm going Joshua Allen. This guy has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. He lost everyone.
Yeah, they just took everybody.
He lost that entire defense. He lost half his offense.
He almost lost his coach.
Almost lost his coach. He does not care, dude. Josh Allen, you know how most quarterbacks have like a little headset in their helmet and he's gonna turn that thing off around when he gets on the field.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do whatever he wants. If he wants to throw it 75 yards down the field for a touchdown or a pick, he's gonna do it. Is he gonna run up the middle for 5-10 yards and try to hurdle a middle linebacker? He's gonna do it. Is he gonna lower his shoulder? Every defender, he's gonna do it, dude. So Josh Allen he doesn't care. He has nothing to lose this upcoming season.
I like that. I like that pick.
Yeah, no, I think that's a sleeper pick at number 1, dude. You had him number 5.
Yep.
I'm going Patty Mahomes, baby. Dude, last year the story was, like you said, Patty Mahomes is gonna kill himself just because he has no people that catch the ball. Travis Kelce was dropping some big passes last season. Kadarius Toney couldn't catch the flu. You had Sky Moore in there. You had Watson, whatever his name is. You had all these people that you looked at and you're like, outside of Kelce, these guys can't catch anything, dude. They're terrible. You go out, you got Hollywood Brown, a speedster. You get Xavier Worthy, speedster.
I'm very excited to see Xavier Worthy.
Me too. And I mean, what X factor does Patty Mahomes get in Madden every year?
Uh, not all of them, pretty much.
But his main X factor, he gets bazooka.
Yeah.
He's literally gonna look at Hollywood Brown and he's gonna look at Xavier and he's just gonna give a hand signal and one's gonna run a deep post and the other one is just gonna run down the sideline.
Yeah, they're running a streak every time.
Yeah, and he's just gonna eeny meeny money and just launch it.
And then guess what? Kelsey's gonna be in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and if they ain't open, he's just gonna hit a no look to Kelsey.
I'm so glad that my team is not in the AFC. That's all.
Me too, dude. And I do play them this year, or the Falcons play them this year.
Ooh.
So that's
R.I.P.
Hey, I believe in Kirk. But anyways, dude, fantasy. I go back to it. If you score, I don't know if y'all's leagues are the same, but if you score over a 50-yard or even a 75-yard touchdown, it like doubles your points. Bro, we're gonna see so many 50-yard touchdowns, 50 yards plus out of these guys. Like, dude, even if Xavier's bagged and Hollywood's bagged, you're going to hit Kelsey in the middle of the field, and he might go to the house for 6 on a 50-yard. Who knows, dude? So I got Patty number 1, dude. He's going to go crazy this year. Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. No, I respect the list. I respect the Burrow placement. I totally see where you're coming from. I was very hesitant. Josh Allen was around. I was thinking about him a lot, but I think we're thinking in completely opposite ways. My thought is Josh Allen has nobody to throw to. Your thought is he's gonna say fuck it. I mean, I've had Josh Allen on my team before, and I loved him. The only problem is that the picks, man. Picks are -2 in most fantasy leagues.
That is the problem.
Josh Allen, some games takes a while to kind of get going, and I'm excited to see him play. I really am. I actually just realized all of my quarterbacks are in the AFC, and I believe all of yours are in the AFC outside of Jalen Hurts. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so AFC quarterbacks. But the only reason I didn't go Jalen Hurts, other than that every night I pray on the Eagles and their fans' downfall, is that Saquon Barkley, I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. I just don't.
That is a big if.
I mean, that's big. And the other thing is the chemistry in that locker room. They had...
You lose Kelsey.
They lost, and they lost Fletcher Cox. Now, look, they have an incredible young core. I'll be the first to admit. But there was a bigger reason why they lost a lot of games on the back end of the season. A.J. Brown was very vocal on not getting the ball, being upset. Then Devontae Smith comes in, and I don't think they were on the same page. So I don't know how the offensive chemistry in that locker room is going to work. And especially, like you said, without your centerpiece, literally your centerpiece in Jason Kelsey, I don't know. I just...
It could fall apart.
It could. But I unfortunately, I do like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good guy. Fantasy-wise, I mean, the tush push, that's always a good play. I mean, that's they got a lot of points last year. If they're inside the 5-yard line, they're tush pushing all the way to the end zone. So I respect it, dude. I do. But now it's time for some baseball. The New York Mets are finally back.
No, dude.
Kyle, I don't know how. I don't know why. I believe they tied the record because they lost last night to the Astros in extra innings. I believe they tied with the Astros for the best record in June, 16-7. And about a month ago, you know how pissed off I was at this team, saying they should just sell everybody, get rid of the team, just go completely in a new direction come the trade deadline. My thought has kind of changed a little bit. That team chemistry, like I was talking about a few weeks ago, amazing. Like, they're actually doing things. I think the player meetings are helping. I think that is one of the coolest stories in the sport right now. I mean, they're still doing it. It's working. They're winning. Jose Iglesias, I believe that's how you say his name. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that he's also an artist on the side, and he drops a song on Friday, and they beat the Astros in the first game. They stay in Citi Field and they have a freaking concert. His brand new song, OMG. Go check it out if you don't know what it is. That was awesome. Even the Yankee fans were cheering and celebrating that song. So that's how you know it was good. They swept the Yanks.
Go leave a dislike. Go leave a dislike.
Okay.
On the video.
Yeah. They swept the Yankees. They won the first of the 2 Subway Series. And they didn't even just they kicked their ass. 21 runs in the 2-game series. I mean, that's not really heard of. Ever since Francisco Alvarez has been back, he has brought the team back. I believe they're 12-4, maybe 11-5 since he's been back. I mean, it's been very good. They're right around 500. In the close, Pete Alonso, this is the jersey. Please stay on the New York Mets for a little bit longer because you keep riding this wave. I think people are having fun. It's a good environment. It's the Big Apple, man. Like I don't know what happened. Look, we're still thanking McDonald's. We are still thanking
Grimace,
them
baby.
for Grimace because since Grimace, the Mets have been on fire. So, Kyle, it feels good. And guess what? Mets are right back in 3rd place, and they are right on the heels of your Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, the Braves have been playing okay. It's just we fall like 1 or 2 games in the series to absolutely nobody. So, Mets, dude, your AAA guys doing some work. I think Taylor McGill for y'all had a pretty solid start, if I'm not wrong. Dude, everything's coming together. I've been saying it. You don't have to win the division. That doesn't matter. As long as you get into the playoffs. Look at all the teams from the past 5 years. Let's go back to 2019. The Nationals. At one point, dude, they were god awful. They were one of the worst teams in the National League. Maybe let alone baseball. I don't know about that, but they were terrible. They come crawling back. They make the wild card. If that Brewers right fielder makes that play, I think the Brewers going to win that game, but fate had something completely different. Boom. They take out the Brewers. The Braves got stumped by the Cardinals. They take care of business with them. They go against the Dodgers, the juggernaut, the Dodgers. Dude, everyone hates the Los Angeles Dodgers. Howie Kendrick hits a grand slam. That takes them to the World Series. They handle business. And even last year, Phillies, dude, past 2 years. The point is, you don't have to win a division. You just got to – everything got to come together regular season. And those player meetings have been helping. A Mets player went on some Barstool podcast, and they asked him a question like, can you talk about what's being said in those meetings? He was like, dude, it's he didn't call it a safe space, but he was like, hey, dude, like, that's where no coaches are there. No managers, no coaches, no batting coaches, hitting coaches, whoever it is, pitching coach, it don't matter. Strictly players. It's like a safe space for them. Hey, guys, I've been really struggling at the plate. I've been trying this. It just ain't working out, blah, blah, blah. My approach for this type of pitcher or this pitcher isn't really working out. But, hey, dude, it's working. It's working. Grimace also gave all of them PEDs. So they've been playing well because of Grimace. But hey, dude, the player meetings has really been working out for him. And even like y'all are playing well, some bad stuff has happened. Diaz gets suspended 10 games for illegal substance. What's his name? McNeil playing like crap. So dude, like. I mean, it's bad stuff. I mean, not everything is going your way. Like, you're facing adversity, but you guys are handling it the right way. And you're handling business. Everyone's on the same page, and that's what you need. So, hopefully, you guys absolutely just fall apart the next couple of games so the Braves could get back to first place. But, hey, Mets, you're doing a good job.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
I think the best thing is, though, they're in the National League. And I think right now it's wide freaking open, dude. I mean,
Mhm.
not a lot of teams are over 500.
They have a chance to get a playoff spot. I think you said it like a week ago, a few days ago. How many teams are have a positive win percentage in or over 500?
5 or 6 in the National League.
Yeah, and then you go to the American League and you have like 7 or 8 teams, dude, that are above 500 that are winning.
I think
Like
it's
the
more,
American
but
League East, they're dominating
yeah,
over there. So, Mets, dude, keep doing what you're doing, but don't pass my Braves, please.
we'll see.
All right, dude. That's gonna do it for today's episode. Matt, how do we feel, dude? How do we feel about today's episode? It went a little long.
It did, but I think we covered everything. I'm really liking these fantasy lists.
Hey,
Uh,
me too. Me too.
Throw a comment down below if you like them too. Clips are doing good, so that's always positive. NBA free agency, that's going to be a recurring topic as we move forward. But Kyle, I'm for late June, early July talking points. I think we're doing really good.
Yeah, we're coming up on like the dead point in sports, but hey, dude, we're finding stuff to spew out some sports news. So, guys, if you like today's video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out our social medias down in the description. Hope you guys had a good weekend, but we will see you Wednesday.
Peace.